Hey,
Yo, how's my audio? Is it hot?
no, you're fine.
Okay.
You sound okay.
A couple things real quick. Somebody said in chat just before I clicked the link, I saw somebody ask why I remove my content. I don't
I
remove any of my
no, I
content.
did it.
It's,
Yeah,
oh, that was at you?
yeah, I highlighted the I highlighted the message, and I said I removed the content, the comment. It was me.
Okay, I thought that was a question to me.
No, he was a question to you, but it's something I did, so I
Oh,
just clarified that I did it.
so here, yeah, I don't remove any of my content. I do eventually put all of it behind paywall, mostly just because I'm greedy.
Mhm.
Um, but it's all still there. It's just for whatever reason, YouTube doesn't show the things you move to members only. Always it shows some of it, not all of it. I don't really know how to choose, but I haven't removed any content.
When it comes to the things that they're saying that you did do attacks, and I remember seeing at least a couple of videos, with Rachel on the thumbnail.
Hmm.
Was that about the whole
I've done two
attack?
videos. Yeah, I've done two videos about Rachel. Just short clips. One of them is when I can't remember the guy's name. There's a YouTube channel, and I where he was like throwing toilet paper basketballs at a net or something in a bathroom. It's just, and so uh I bought three shots from. I sent a super chat and I said in honor of Rachel Wilson. That was one of them. And the other one is, and I'm rolling off memory a little bit here. I, who was it? Um, I can't remember her name. Anyways, somebody had asked AI basically, is Rachel Wilson a feminist? And it analyzed her talking points and concluded that she was a feminist. So neither of those are attacks on her. Neither of those are personal attacks. One of them is light fun jab, and the other one was a critique of her perspectives. She's being a fake victim. She doesn't like being called out on it. And Rachel, if you're listening, which I bet you are, I would love for you to produce one receipt of me ever attacking you personally.
Well, you're talking about a fake victim is a victim of you being attacking her right now, or you're talking about her history?
She over on Vix and over here now. She's repeated many times that I attacked her personally. That's never happened until now. I suppose you could say me calling her a fake victim is a personal attack, but I view it as I'm going to play the Marte card. It's defense. She's running around saying I'm attacking her personally. I've actually stepped around that. She said that I attacked her for having exes. That's absurd. I've never done that. And you know why I'd never do that? Because Katie and I both have previous marriages too. It would make no sense in the world for me to go, "Oh, you've got baby dad," when I've got the same situation here. So, yeah, that's never happened.
Okay. So just the
Oh, and
clarification
just
is.
just one more thing.
Mhm.
Marte, you're a whole bitch. Shut the fuck up. I'll continue to trash you. I will. Yes, I've attacked lots of people. I've attacked Marte personally. I will continue to do so because he's such an insufferable bitch. That's all.
Well, when it comes to when it comes to Marte, when it comes to the Marte stuff, I see it more of a. I don't think it's justified in some senses, but I don't. You're. I've been a, when I go to places and they call me a bunch of attacks. Is Yeah, it makes sense. Um, Rich is saying you attack Andrew because he's married to someone who has kids from two other relationships. That's literally attacking me, Duffus. But I don't care. You don't
Nope.
matter at all to me.
That never happened. Rachel, I invite you to provide any receipt to me ever doing that. Lots of people have attacked her for that. I understand how she could get it misconstrued, but I have never attacked her for that.
And you're saying that you will not attack her for that specifically
I
because
would right, exactly.
you have the same
Right,
situation.
like I said, Katie's got an ex-husband and kids from that marriage. I've got an ex-wife and kids from that marriage, right? I live in a blended family too. Why would I throw, it wouldn't make any sense. But no, I welcome Rachel to either please stop accusing me of things I didn't do or provide the receipt showing I did do it.
Okay. I don't I do remember the stream what you said about the feminist stuff. I don't even think I watched it. Um, but I don't know if that is what you say. I have no reason to believe that you did or not. I just don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't consume that part of the content.
I didn't take anything down. Everything is behind a paywall. Surely you know somebody who's got a membership. But if you go over to the video sections, there's at least 2 videos still up. The 2 that I mentioned earlier. Aside from that, like, it just let me be a little bit generous. I think probably what's happening here is I know that Rachel came under a lot of attacks for that. I remember it because I remember distinctly and this is probably why I'm a little bit irritated that she's making this claim, because I distinctly remember avoiding that point of criticism altogether. She was getting a lot of criticism on that point from a lot of people. And I distinctly remember never participating in it because, like I said, that would make me a hypocrite as well. So for her to be running around everywhere saying that I did the exact thing I made sure not to do, it's low key irritating. It's like, well, I might as well just do the fucking thing if I'm going to get accused of it anyways.
Do you think when when it comes to you saying that she's a feminist, do you actually believe that that is the case, that she is a feminist?
I think that. Oh, what do you mean by feminist? I don't think that she's a new age feminist. Like, I
Well,
do
what I
think
mean
that she's.
is, what I believe the idea of feminist is like, when I see it, is the idea of she believes in the equality of between men and women. She's probably a little bit
Yeah,
on the
I
side
think that
of.
she has achieved a lot in her own right.
Mhm.
Um, for lack of a better word, she's pretty empowered, right? She's a firearms instructor. She's an author. She goes on and does public appearances in her own right. She has debates. I mean,
Yeah, but
none of
that
these
would
things
be
are.
secondary, right? Because her, and she said this before many times, that the primary role, her primary role, was as a mother, and her primary role right now is as a wife still.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dispute that. I think that I don't think the 2 are mutually exclusive.
Just a second. Blasterbot with Big 50. Libertarians have good ideals. My problem with them is that they need to be contradictory on everything, means they hold up and ruin whatever project they try and participate in. See the Libertarian Party and Massive voting against the agenda 70 plus times. Yeah, I can agree with that. We had this conversation in the past when it comes to libertarians. I see them as, but we don't have to go there. Um, yeah, I see. When people are saying that she's a feminist, and I see that the primary role she has is like a as a wife. I see that as I see that as a full contradiction, right?
Yeah, I don't view the 2 as a contradiction. I think that you can be a like, I mean, it illustrates it, right? She's doing both. She's doing both. She's an author and a mother. She's a debater and a mother and a wife, right? The
Yeah.
2 aren't mutually exclusive, and I don't think that they need to be ranked.
Well, I
Like,
think
well,
that
this is the
if
primary thing. I just do these other things on the side. Like, I don't think it needs to be one or the other.
I believe that if Andrew said you don't get to write any other book, she would say okay. I think that if she
That's,
had to get in
I mean,
between,
none of this.
wait,
None of this matters to me though. It's all speculative, and none of it negates any or proves any other point, right? Like, it's not like because ultimately if Andrew puts his foot down and calls the shots, that means that she's not done all these empowered woman things. She has. And again, I'm not like, I don't mean this as an insult. I think it's amusing because you all are so staunchly anti-feminist that uh I think it's an amusing point that Rachel herself is very accomplished in ways that you would consider an empowered woman thing.
no,
But to
I
me, I'm not
see.
shitting on it.
Well, I see it differently. I see her empowerment comes from the fact that she's a mother and a wife, and everything else is just something that she does, that she is capable. Because I don't think women
I
are
just
capable of doing
I
extra
feel
stuff.
like you're justifying something that I don't think needs to be justified.
Well, I think it does, because in the way that we see the culture is telling women that the greatest achievement comes from them being authors or instructors or being very
Yeah,
accomplished when it comes to monetary gains, instead of understanding that the greatest accomplishment comes from
right.
big
And I
part.
understand that that's a distinction that you're making, but that's what I'm trying to say is like I don't believe in that distinction. I understand that you do, and that
Mhm.
you're trying to defend her from something that you view as a derogatory claim. I don't view it that way. I think that you can have both, and so I don't think it needs to be defended or debated over. Like you're defending something that's not an attack.
Okay. No, it was mostly like I had a question with that, and mostly
Okay.
because I see the idea of, oh, she is a feminist when has been trying in all of the sense and in all of her words at least to be against that, and then I see, for example, the reasons why. One of the big reasons why is it has been because she sees the service to the kids. I see that as in something extremely valuable in society. So I don't understand why are we like I don't even understand
Like
why are we even doing
ultimately,
that kind of
Emmett,
attack.
ultimately it's okay. Again, it's not an attack. I know that you keep defending it, but ultimately I'm not really interested if she's a feminist or not. It really doesn't matter to me. The irony is that the AI spit out that she was, right? But that's as
All right.
far as my interest goes. I really have no interest in hunting down feminists or doing any of that shit. So I feel like you're not intentionally, but maybe just through a difference of focus, like you're kind of attacking a straw man. She could be a feminist, she could not be a feminist. It doesn't matter to me either way. It matters to you all. If you don't see things the way that I do, that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to try to change your mind on it.
No, that okay. I just wanted to because I don't have any receipts right now when it comes to whether you did that part or not. I'm gonna go ahead and provide be as graceful as I can as the host because I'm hosting you
Right.
to be like I'm not gonna attack you on that. I'm not gonna say
Can
you did or not. But when it comes to the
can I
idea of
respond to can I respond to Rachel's comment down there?
sure, you want me to? I'm gonna bring it up so
You,
you.
I just want. She says, "I'm only empowered in the sense that my priest and my husband and the Lord Himself might commission me to do something on behalf of my family or my church."
Mhm.
I'm not trying to have any sort of a critique or like you don't need to justify your family or your religious life to me at all, right? You know that. I'm not. And this is why I'm kind of trying to push away from this conversation with Emmett. I'm really not trying to critique your personal life. I think that you, and this is probably going to get people talking shit on me. I don't think there's anything wrong with women doing things for themselves, just like any other person, right? So you don't, I mean, you just don't need to justify that to me either way. I think that even if you did it just for yourself, you wanted to write a book, that's every bit as valid as doing it for somebody else. Maybe that's the feminist in me.
Well,
Maybe I'm
it's
more of a feminist, but
I think
I mean,
we're looking at it in different perspectives, which I agree.
yeah.
Like the perspective I have is the same perspective of the idea of Rachel, right? She's saying, "Oh, I get like the empowerment from my submission to my family and to
But I
God."
mean, but what's wrong with her doing something just for herself? I don't. I mean, I don't see any issue with that. I think everybody, man or woman or child, everybody should be able to do some things for themselves and not have to be entirely, devoted to something else. So,
Well,
like I said, it's like I'm not even criticizing her for the accomplishments. I think that they're good things in their own right, and she should be proud of them for herself, not for not on someone else's behalf.
I don't because this is a different of perspective. The way that for example, a way to look at it is if you have a family, you are devoted to your family because the reward is the family, and you do it for the family because it's greater than you, and you accomplish the fact that you are part of something greater than yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't know. I
If
haven't
we're
excuse me. I have an issue with framing things as either or, right? Because I think that especially for like actually I think the Wilsons and I are in the same boat in this regard because we both work our YouTube is our job, right? We both work from home. We
Mhm.
spend more times with our family. Our family, I would assume that theirs is the same way as mine. My job is very much integrated into family life. You know, I don't know. I'm pushing back on the idea that there's separations while also trying to not have the conversation about it. So it's kind of, I understand I'm kind of being irritating in that regard.
I'm gonna repeat Rachel because I think it's important. That's not the argument. Is that I'm not trying to do things that I can be independent of Andrew, and prove that he's not the boss of me. Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's
Yeah, I mean,
similar in that idea. Like she is integrated with the family and she's
right.
working
And I know,
towards it.
and I never suggested or thought that she was right. And I view that sort of feminism or that independence and detachment sort of mindset. I think that that's a destructive mindset, no matter who you are. Right. I don't necessarily view that as feminism, even though it does come out as feminism. But like, yeah. So when I say that she did something good or she accomplished something and she did it for herself, I don't. It doesn't necessarily mean that she's doing it at the expense of her family. Anyways, we're just kind of splitting hairs here. I feel like
When it comes to, well, just talking about the ironic part of the argument, you will say that the irony is that she is accomplished. Would that be the part that you think that's ironic?
right. The irony would be that she is very outspoken against feminism while simultaneously being very accomplished in her own right in the world around her. Again, nothing has to do with her not being devoted to her family or her religion. It's all about the fact that she has, for somebody who is outspoken against women being, independently accomplished, she's pretty independently accomplished. You consider it an internal critique, right? I don't have an issue with it. I think I've said that 1,000 times. But if I'm doing an internal critique, it seems to be inconsistent with itself.
I don't think there. This is the only problem that I will see. I don't think there is that critique in and of itself. That critique in and of itself loses merit. That's how I see it, because she doesn't see like her being independent. Like the the accomplishment comes from the family. That's how she sees it.
But for real though, and this is the thing, like this conversation is already getting way deeper into the weeds about it than the original video was meant to be, right? It was an AI cursory reaction that I found amusing. It really wasn't this deep or this, invested or person.
Yeah, it was.
Hello.
It was.
Hi, ABG.
Hello. All right,
Hello.
I'm here. Rachel is busy apparently, so I'm here to ask some questions that might be pertinent. Do you really believe that feminism is necessary for a woman to have an opinion in public, Dusty? Come on, I know you don't believe that.
No, but I think that the two are correlated.
It's no, right. So women had opinions prior to feminism being enacted, and the suffragette movement, right?
Objection, relevance.
Objection, relevance. You said that the whole reason why Rachel has the position that she has in the YouTube society is related to feminism.
Well,
no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay, steelman your argument again, please.
You're exhausting, Paige.
You just don't like it when I'm not dumbed down and having a good time.
Are you a feminist?
I used to be.
But you're not anymore?
Correct.
Then get back in your lane and let the men talk.
Oh, okay. So women do not have a right to talk over men ever, even pre-suffragette movement?
Men are still talking.
Men are still talking.
Can you contain this feminist on your panel?
Can you provide me with a single argument for why I shouldn't be able to talk right now?
Because you're a woman.
Okay. And the justification for that would be what? Contractual? Legal? Would it be effectively grounded in tradition? So social what? Social tradition?
Sure.
Okay. And can you provide me with a social tradition that has been upheld in the age of 2026 wherein individuals such as women would not be allowed to speak?
Page. Can you provide me with a sandwich?
I could. Let's move on to the next. Inquiry, please. Here's
Okay.
your BLT, sir. Moving on. Can you provide me with a single justification for why I shouldn't be able to weigh in on this conversation? Keeping in context that we are talking
Here's
right
the
now on
thing.
the internet
If you
in
don't think she's,
2026.
if you don't think, if I understand that y'all have this weird reaction to the word. If you don't think she's a feminist, that's fine. Like I've said, it's
I
not
don't
that
think she's
deep.
a feminist.
It's okay. I get that.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
fine. I'm not
Okay.
trying to change your mind. I'm not trying to change your mind.
I know you aren't, but can I demonstrate why she isn't a feminist?
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, okay, great. So number one, her entire life is against feminism. Feminism promotes ideals wherein women are in the patriarchal leadership position in society and also are not performing their natural duties, i.e., child rearing and child development. Rachel has done that 5 times. Okay. Number two, yes, Rachel
Hold
has a
on.
voice
So
online.
are you saying that feminists cannot have children?
Feminists can absolutely have children. The core principle of fourth wave feminism is that they not be in a primarily servitorial role in which they care for those children.
Okay,
Thank
I
you very
never said
much.
she was a fourth wave feminist. I do not believe she's a fourth wave
Well,
feminist.
it's not a
Okay,
fourth
what
way.
wave do you think she is then?
Which one was the suffrage movement? Which one was the like OG
That would be
original
the first wave feminism.
That
Okay.
will be first
Then
wave.
we'll go with that one.
Okay, great. Perfect. We're going to go with that one. So you think that like Rachel is for gender equality, even though she's spoken out before on the fact that she doesn't believe that men and women are biologically equal, correct?
I believe that both of the Wilsons are for gender equality, actually.
Interesting. And why do you believe that, please?
Because of their positions on things. What name what can you give one example of where they demonstrate inequality in their life?
Yeah, absolutely. So Andrew has actually publicly stated before he refuses to do any kind of household chores. That Rachel has consistently done
demonstrated. I said demonstrated for a reason.
Yeah, demonstrate. So,
Right.
like I said,
They're in the public
and Rachel
eye, so
have
we
admitted that.
Okay, what about
Oh,
the
we're gonna
that's
assume
why
you're
that's why I
lying?
said demonstrated. That's why I said demonstrated,
yeah.
not stated, because they're both in the public eye.
I can
So
demonstrate
you want
it.
a live feed
I
of
can-
Rachel?
I would just think that if it's this
live feed
objectionable
of
claim,
Rachel making
you
a
would
sandwich?
objection over talking. I think that
can-
you would be able
That's
to.
not a fallacy or an objection.
It's not an objection.
Denied.
You're not a judge.
Order. Anyway, the demonstration of that could be
I
very.
apologize.
The demonstration for that is very simple. Like the myriad of debates against the 19th Amendment, for example. Does
Rachel vote?
Only because Andrew
Yes,
tells
she
her.
votes.
Okay. So
Only
once
because
again,
Andrew tells her.
Hold on. This is why I asked for a demonstration. We've clearly seen that they've demonstrated the opposite behaviors in their lives. Then they've stated
that's not the opposite behavior. That is just
But
that
honestly,
behavior
like,
that makes sense.
how many times can I tell you guys I don't give a fuck? She's a feminist. She's not a feminist. I'm leaving the video up. You don't have to agree with it. Suck it.
Okay.
Sustained.
I mean, that don't give. That's a good argument for ending the conversation. That makes perfect sense.
We can move on.
I'm
to the
trying to
next
give you the option to like prove that you're not disparaging Rachel online. I'm actually on your side with this, as I have been with the Sarah thing. You just can't fucking realize it. You're just shooting yourself in the foot.
Oh, well, thank you for the help that I didn't ask for.
Okay.
Typical man.
This is the only thing.
Typical man? Did she just hit me with the typical man?
Typical libertarian.
Oh, god damn.
For the lulz. Doesn't want to accept any kind of help. It's fine. I get it.
I don't need directions. I don't need help. I can lift it myself.
Objection, heresy. Oh, I
fine.
read that wrong. It was hearsay.
I was just giving him an opportunity. I thought he might take the opportunity to disprove of
to say that Rachel's not a feminist.
Rachel, he hasn't seen you ever defy and/or even it's like, no, the only defense is this. Okay, it's the same defense
You guys,
people have for me.
no. The issue is that you guys are loading so much more baggage onto the video or the word than is necessary. You guys
Okay.
are just heaping meaning and assumptions and precepts and all sorts of shit into what is and remains to be a very flippant, not serious observation.
Okay,
It's just
so
not. Paige, I know it feels deep, but it's just not that deep.
doesn't feel deep, Dusty.
It
It feels to me
does.
it's like a fly on the side of my ear. Okay. So here's my assumption, right? The same issue that people have with Rachel is the same issue people have with me. We're outspoken, we're independent. We were both raised by feminist women who are highly accomplished and intelligent. And for some reason, we now support the patriarchy and all the ideals that it encompasses. And for that reason alone, it's confusing to people why we are doing that, right?
And that's sort of why I'm trying to like push off of this subject, is because I understand that that's a loaded word and that it carries all sorts of baggage or meaning for people that it just doesn't for me. I understand that it's more like we're more likely to cause more confusion than we are clarity in this position. But let me ask you a question that's sort of tangential to it since we're here.
Okay.
Do you feel? Sorry, can I answer or read something?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Okay, Paige. I'm sorry, AVG. Do you feel like it's okay for a woman to accomplish things just because for her own desire, or does it have to be in service of a family or an institution?
It has to be in service of family or institute. For instance, my current position is in service of my father. My father made an investment in me. I'm his only child, right? It is in service of him. Yes.
Do you feel like it's the same for men? Can men do accomplishments just for themselves, or does it have to be in service of something?
I think it's equally incumbent upon men to satisfy their parents' wishes.
Okay.
But that is the equality insofar as that is true is a byproduct of feminism, because like female children are treated the same as male children. Like for instance, myself, right?
Not by us. Well, like not in this house. No, they're not in this house.
But like for me, I'm my father's only child, right? He doesn't treat me like a female, right? I mean, he does insofar as like he selects like who I'm gonna marry and stuff like that, but he doesn't insofar as like my career. He expects me to be there for something and to advance in my career, regardless of my personal emotions or feelings or my little feminine, wiles. Right?
Well, Paige, I hope that someday you are able to live your own life for yourself instead of devoting it to your dad.
I live my own life on the weekend.
And I suspect hold on, I suspect that he would agree with me.
You've never talked to JP, so how would you know?
I just it seems you're very close with your father. We've talked about this before. It sounds like he's a good guy. I've got a daughter myself, and more than I want her to do things for me, I want her to have a good life for herself. And I'm just going to assume, I'm going to just extend the assumption that your dad also has the same hope for you, that you have a good life of your own, and not that you spend it trying to satisfy his desires.
No, he wants me to have a good life. And at the same time, he hopes that I'm his only kid. I'm his only hope. So for no reason other than that, I think he does hope that I become successful and help him out, which I would do anything for that man. That man is my rock, my savior. So.
Well,
yeah.
The point I will make is that it is possible for people, let's say that you have an idea. I'm going to go ahead and create all of these things that's going to be for me and only for me. And there might be a possibility for exceptional individuals that might be able to do that just for themselves and find some kind of meaning out of it. But I think
I can do that, Emmett. Like I'm very successful, even in YouTube, where I didn't even predict. Yeah, I've been pretty successful.
That was the feminism talking out of you, Paige.
Oh, that was the feminism talking.
Yeah, for a moment there, okay? Wrangle yourself back.
Kick me from the studio.
Wrangle yourself back for a second, okay?
I'm gonna kick myself.
I tried to kick you from the studio earlier, but you were too empowered. Okay.
Yeah, but
Can
I
I
was gonna say that most people aren't able to find that kind of meaning in and of themselves. When it comes to that, they have to have like a higher purpose, and most of there's the way to get to that is usually through family, community, and in my case, I would say
I
God.
I agree. I agree entirely with that. I just don't think that that's a gender specific thing. I think that that's a human thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's I said the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. This is getting exhausting, so I'll do this. Let me respond to Rachel's comments one more time.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, if she wants to keep complaining and making shit up, then she can. She says, Dusty, like all the other pussies who can't beat my husband, you attack him through me by calling him a cuck and implying that I've been promiscuous. That's what I was talking about. Didn't you brag about helping Sarah make the cartoon where Andrew is watching me in bed with Destiny? No, did not at all. I had nothing to do with the cartoon. I made the cuckable mug. I sold the cuckable mugs. It is a play on words. If you self-applied it, that's on you. That's your insecurity. I at no point ever said it was about you. I never said that's why. It was purely a play on words, and I had nothing to do with the cartoon. But I'm just at this point, I'm kind of fed up with her accusing me of shit that she doesn't even know what the fuck she's talking about. Provide her a seat with your next accusation or get over yourself.
Well, don't you think that idea of the cockable is pretty much that in and of itself?
No, Emmett, it was my fucking idea. I understand what the idea was. It was a play on words.
Alright. It was a question. I'm not trying. That was actually a question.
Well,
'Cause I
you're
do
like
think,
you're like debating me about what my idea was about.
well, yeah,
I'm the only one who would know that.
yes, that's what I said. That's why I asked you. It's like,
Mhm.
well, I see that as the idea of, if I'm gonna call somebody a cock. The idea of the cock is like, yeah, you're you're getting cocked. Your wife is cheating on you, pretty much. So that was like that's why I ask. But if it's not the
It's the
case, it was
same
just a
number
play
of
on words. It's
it's the
fine.
same number of syllables. It's got the same sounding syllables. It was a play on words. If Rachel wants to self-apply it, I can't stop her from doing that. But she should know that she's doing that her damn self.
When it comes to, I'm gonna ask you one thing that's completely unrelated to that, just to, and I let you go if if you want to go to bed or something. When it comes to the whole Sarah stuff, um, you say that you were not involved in most of the stuff that she did when it comes to for example, the cartoons or um the pinups or anything like that. That you were completely, you were not into any of that. Those were decisions
I'm not
directly
doing all that.
by.
I'm not doing all that work. Yeah, I'm not doing all that work for her shit.
Okay. Yeah, it's do you think she? Do you think that the whole you know? What do you think of me, for example, or somebody else calling anybody kind of an e-thought when they release loots or any kind of bullshit like that? You think that should be actionable as a lawsuit?
Like legally actionable?
Yeah, legally actionable.
I think it's the internet.
And so you think it shouldn't be legally actionable, right?
If you call somebody an e-thought, no, I don't think that should be legally actionable.
I mean, you're calling her a whore. In other words, just different words. Just
Who am I calling a whore?
no.
I haven't
When
called anybody a whore.
I'm saying that if I call somebody an e-thought, I'm saying I'm pretty much calling that person a whore. Just an
No,
online whore.
there's a distinction there. An e-thought is just a derogatory term. It means a slut or something like that, right? It's just it's generically derogatory. A prostitute is legally defined.
Okay. The same question, but with prostitute. You think that should be legally actionable?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes. I think if you make a legal accusation at somebody, they should have legal recourse.
How was it a legal accusation?
Because of prostitution is defined legally and it is criminal. You're accusing somebody of committing a crime. With ethot, you're just expressing your contempt for somebody.
If I call, for example, anybody that has an OnlyFans a prostitute, which I think is accurate, should that be actionable as well?
If you say, let's pretend I have an OnlyFans, and you say Dusty is a prostitute,
yeah,
and you don't expand on it, yes, I think that should be actionable.
Well,
if
I
you
expand
say,
that you
I
have
think,
an OnlyFans.
if,
That's that I do believe that
okay,
you are.
well, I mean,
because you have an OnlyFans.
I mean, if you explain it, then probably not. But if you're just if you're making the leap and bringing your own proprietary definitions, you don't get to define what a prostitute is legally. You don't get to go, well, I consider this prostitution, I consider this murder, I consider this grape, right? You don't get to do that with legal claims. So I don't give a fuck what you consider prostitution. If you make the claim, you're using the legal term.
Yeah, so everything.
I don't give a fuck if you consider something murder or a grape, right? If you make the accusation, you better choose a different word if you mean something different than the legal definition.
Okay, I'm just asking because every time anybody has called any person that does OnlyFans a prostitute, that would be actionable to your eyes, right?
I think if you're doing it in a place where that's illegal, yes. If you're accusing somebody of committing a crime, yes, that's actionable. Because you're making a false accusation.
But I don't think it's
that
false.
can have
that
recourse. That can have recourses, huh?
I don't think it's a false accusation at all.
I don't care what you think. You don't get to define words.
Okay, so you're gonna be using the definition of that.
Yes, because there are legal definitions. That's why it's actionable, because there could be legal recourses for you saying shit like that.
Well, there are, but the definition, like, do you understand that there's a huge difference between the legal definition of words and the common parlance, right?
No, I don't. A prostitute is a prostitute.
Nope.
That's somebody who sells sex. It's somebody who sells sex for money. You don't get to bring in your own proprietary definition for there. The legal and the common parlance are the same.
No, in fact, you actually can, because there is differences between common parlance and legal terminology.
No, a prostitute is somebody who sells sex for money. Like that's full stop. That's it.
Yeah, and
Google it. Look it up.
Does that?
No, they're not having sex with people. They're selling images.
Oh yes, they are.
Prostitute, 1, a person who engages in prostitution. Well, I guess that.
I'm sorry.
Prostitution.
That was
funny. Right. Prostitution is a type of sex works that involves engaging in sexual activity in exchange for payment. There's a legal definition. Like I said, you're asking me about legal things. Do I think that these are legally actionable?
Yeah.
Yes, you're using words that have legal definitions.
Yeah, but
if you mean they're a slut, and say they're a slut. If you mean they're an ethot, say they're an ethot. But once you accuse somebody of being a prostitute, that's got a legal meaning. I was
more asking you if the idea, if you think it should be actionable in our culture, like in the cultural sense, like
yes,
let's say that I go
yes,
on and
I do. I think that if you accuse me of doing a crime, I think that should be actionable. And prostitution is a crime, no matter how much you try to redefine the word. If you accuse me of graping somebody, I think that should be actionable. You're making a statement that could cause me actual legal recourse. So
this is a great example. Thank you very much to Richard Wilson for sending a huge $5 super chat. He says, mentally restarted is literally a legal term, but I'm not making a legal claim when I call you that. Dusty, that's what
being retarded is okay, Rachel. Being retarded is not a crime. You have not accused me of committing a crime. Ta-da! Nobody's going to read your super chat and go, "Oh shit, we need to arrest Dusty. He's retarded."
Hello, Daria. Welcome back. I didn't keep.
I'm tired, boss. No, I removed myself. I'm tired, boss. Okay. So let's define lewds, right? Because that was the language that was utilized insofar as the.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Okay.
No, it was, and I also another reason for nope is I don't know why y'all are trying to get me to take Sarah's side on this.
No, I don't really want
we're
you
not.
to.
Okay,
I'm
then
just here
if
to
you don't want me to
define
take Sarah's side, then don't
Please
sit here and feed me a
don't.
line of bullshit. He didn't say lewds. It wasn't about lewds. He said prostitute. He said nudes. Later, he said lewds. He said all the things. So you're lying to me to try to get a position.
Do you
I'm not
think-
supporting Sarah's side, but I'm also
Okay.
not going to be gaslit into thinking I didn't hear exactly what the fuck I heard.
Okay, great. So you're admitting that there's no legal claim with respect to the words that were uttered by Andrew, correct?
There are legal claims with respect to prostitution. There is not legal claims with respect
Did he
to
say
lewd.
prostitute? Did he say
Yes, he did.
Okay. Can anybody in the chat verify that for me, please? I
Why
don't
do you
have
think
I
Okay.
actually do not believe he said that. I think
Okay.
he said lewds.
Then that's fine. If you're correct, then I don't think there's claim. If I'm
Okay.
correct, I think there's claim.
Right. Okay. Yep.
And that's exactly the distinction I made with Emmett. One is a crime and the other is not.
Yeah, but
So defamation per se, right, is a delicate law, right?
Mhm.
Does anybody know what the specific Maryland definition is? Because I know. I've done some extensive research since I had the
Of defamation per se. Oh yeah, I meant to ask you,
In
where did
Maryland.
you get the actual filing from? You should give it to me.
The actual filing was obtained through a Maryland court's independent research analysis, and I utilized the exact party names as I would typically during a legal research endeavor.
Okay. Anyways, what were you saying?
Yeah. So defamation per se is effectively what she's alleging, right? Because there's no obviously, if the allegation is with respect to prostitution, there's no specific allegation that she's been guilty of that, right? So
If you say somebody's a prostitute, defamation per se is accused.
I don't believe that he did that. I don't believe that he did.
Okay,
that.
then if he didn't do that, then there's nothing there. If he did do it,
Okay, but defamation per se is what I understand is on trial here, in that the statement that he has made with respect to her content, right, with the cuckable hoodie, is inherently harmful on its face, right, pith and substance, right, which would allow the opposing party to prove that there's been some kind of a loss. Correct?
I zoned out.
Okay.
You're awfully annoying right now.
Okay, let me put it this
You
way.
only like me when I don't want to be a legal professional.
Because here's why you're annoying. Because I don't support Sarah's position. However, I'm not full of fucking shit like you guys are trying to say that he didn't say things when he did. You're just straight lying to me about what happened. And that's irritating.
That's not what I said. I asked. My questions were
you're right. Emmett, you didn't do it. AVG either lied or is
listen
mistaken.
to my music again and go to bed. Okay, so in Maryland, right?
Do we have a dance party?
So later,
we did. I mean, and then you interrupted. I was trying to have one anyway. Maryland law, right? With respect to defamation per se. Involves a couple of components, right? So number one is sexual morality or purity of an individual, right? Chastity, unchastity, that's kind of the thing. Number two would be criminal activity. These aren't in order, by the way, of heinousness. Accusing someone of committing a crime. The other one would be statements that allege, like, okay, I've effectively done some kind of moral wrong to an individual, or I've committed, like, if I have a regulatory body, misconduct. And the other one would be an individual who has been, like, shitty at their job if they work in a trade or a profession that is also regulated. Does that make sense? So defamation per se is hinged on the ability, not that the statement directly accuses somebody of a crime or a misdemeanor in the context of their regulatory body, but rather that it could be implied that they have done so based on that statement. Does that make sense to everybody?
Say that again.
So defamation per se is not that the statement itself is a direct accusation of a crime or an offense in terms of a regulatory body, but that the statement in and of itself could be construed to be indicative of a violation in one of those regards.
So that means that it's even looser requirements.
Per se is an extremely loose
Mm-hmm.
requirement. Yes.
That would seem to work in Sarah's favor more than Andrew's.
Well, so how so? Can you explain your argument in support of that?
Because well, I'm not making an argument in support of it. I'm asking a question, although I posed it as a statement. If she has a lower threshold of requirements, meaning that he doesn't actually even have to say the thing directly, it just has to be able to be construed as him saying or implying the thing. That means that she's got even more wiggle room to say this was defamation.
Okay, and what would be the damages, right? Because that's the
Well, I mean, hold on. Do you agree with that? Do you think I'm understanding that right?
No.
Okay, then correct it.
Yeah, so the way that I see Andrew's statement is that he assessed, right, something materially, yes, it was somewhat explicit. I've seen the photo, everybody's seen the photo, right? Of her in the cuckable jacket, right? It was lewd, right? It was inappropriate to certain individuals. Was it approaching the level of only friends? No. But was it lewd? Was it indecent?
You just evaded my question entirely.
So yeah, I would consider it a lewd. Yes. I
Okay.
consider it to be, so what he said.
This is why you're annoying to me right now, because you're not answering my question at all. You're being entirely dishonest, and you sidestepped it entirely. I did not ask you at all whether or not you consider that a lewd. Not even close to it. That was all right. AVG, I'm done with you for tonight.
I'm done with you. Well,
I've frustrated Dusty to the point of no return. Thank you for having.
Well, you're just lying to me. You're just lying to me.
Well, this is the question that I have, because we have common parlance and sometimes we say things, and those things can become, especially in panels, you can get very heated, and that does not mean that it feels the legal standard to impose that some kind of wrong has been done to anybody. If I go on and I say something, oh, you for example, you said to me, I don't even know. Let's say that you said to me that I will murder someone, right? Oh, you look like you're a serial killer because you have parakeets. It's not like, do you think I should be like, oh wow, I'm a serial killer that has some kind of legal terminology. I'm gonna go to, to my local court. I'm gonna start litigating against Blowstead because he made a joke.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
You don't disagree with that? I'm sorry.
No. I think
well
I think that
get ready, Dusty, because I'm gonna start the process.
Because it's obviously a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Right, it's obviously a joke.
Yeah, well, the point that we will make
if I was going around saying Emmett is a serial killer, and I'm not explaining that it's because you own parakeets, which is obviously a tongue-in-cheek absurd reason, right?
Yeah.
If I'm just walking around telling people that and trying to convince them of that, then yes, I would think that you have a case against me.
Yeah, and I would say that if I go on and I say this person is a prostitute, and I don't mean going outside selling her body, to the next guy in a car, but as her selling her body online through photos, through lewd pictures, that I think that there's a difference in that in common parlance. It might not be the case that there's a difference in legal terminology. If it was something legal, I would say I would agree with you. But in commonality, I would say that there's a difference there.
Okay, so you're saying that he didn't mean what he said?
No, I think I think he means what he says when he's calling her a prostitute online. But he does it, the meaning of the word, the way that it comes to that conclusion comes from her selling those pictures online, it's not because she is outside selling,
I think that
illicit
I think that the argument that Andrew was using his own proprietary definition of the word is a poor argument. I think that he'd be much better off taking
No,
any other route. Like,
I mean, I'm not making that argument. I'm not a legal scholar. I wouldn't make that argument. I'm just saying that in our space, specifically when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to all of these, I don't see any of that as actionable. I don't see that as
okay.
actionable. But I mean, I obviously I'm not a lawyer. I'm not gonna say if it's
Luckily, it's
actionable
not
or
up to
not.
either of us, so what we see as actionable doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I just wanted to have your opinion on
Mhm.
it. I wanted to know if you think it was or not actionable.
Here's what here's what I think objectively. I think that if it goes to trial, and this is nothing new, right? I've said this before. I think that if it goes to trial,
Mm-hmm.
they have something to worry about. That said, I think that if I were them, I'd be doing exactly what they're doing, and trying and not getting served, and just trying to play big bank takes little bank, and wait it out.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I read it. For
You
what
read
I've
the filing?
for what I've read and for what I know, the the lawsuit just makes no sense.
Well,
I
but
would do
here's the
exactly
other thing.
I would do exactly the same thing they're doing when it comes to not getting served. I would do
Yeah,
exactly the same thing because I don't need to do
right.
anything else anyway.
The other thing about it is that
Yeah.
it's like to a degree, the process is the punishment, right? Whether or not you're found innocent or guilty, you still have a lot of headache, a lot of time, a lot of resources, a lot of energy that go into mounting that defense.
I mean,
It's a pain in the ass either way.
it would be if they were not, if they didn't have like the whole point on their
No, it
if
doesn't
it were,
matter if you have
I
the
think
point or
it's
not.
completely on their favor, and I
I've
think they don't have any
I've
reason
been
to.
I've been a defendant and won, and I still had to pay. I had to deal with the time, the lawyer, the travel. Like it wasn't for free, you know.
No, it wasn't for free. I'm not saying it is for free, but I think
Right.
the more well off, the less you care.
But what?
The more well off, the less you'll care.
Um, I don't know. That's a pretty big sum of money. Like the Wilsons are doing good, but I don't know that they're rich enough to just not give a fuck about a minimum of $150,000.
That's if no, but that's an idea of
Like
her
when
winning, and I don't
the
think
time
she's gonna win. That's the
the
point.
thing I'm thinking about, like, because like I said, I've been a defendant, and I went to court just to prove it. Just and there was not even any monetary damages. It was actually a restraining order somebody
Mhm.
put against me with some bullshit, and so I paid a lawyer and I went to trial for it, and I was found in the right. They were full of shit. There was not even any money associated with that, and that still cost me some money. And I did it just out of principle. But
Yeah,
anyways, the point is that, like, yeah, this is a big enough lawsuit that, like, it doesn't matter. I don't think anybody would just ignore the fuck out of it, right? Like maybe there's some corporations or some uber wealthy people that would just look at it and go, "Fuck it, settle with it. I just don't want to deal with it." But
Oh, I don't think they're gonna settle. As I said, I don't think there's absolutely anything to settle about. I think Andrew just arrived in chat and he said, you know what's gonna happen? The here's what's gonna happen. Nothing, and I think that's actually the point. I don't think there's nothing gonna happen with the lawsuit. I think if anything happens, there's gonna be a counter lawsuit because I don't think this had any. I don't think this was actionable in the first place.
well, and I mean, I guess that was sort of my point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, if I was in their shoes, I'd be doing what they're doing, right? And just try to just let it drag itself out. Big bank take little bank, and how long can you play this game for?
When are we gonna get the files, Dusty? That's the actual question that everybody's asking. Okay.
Excuse me.
When are we
I
actually
don't think
getting
we're
the
going to get the files. I don't think we're getting the files. Oh God.
Welcome back, Daria.
People keep hating me on the chat. They're like, "Oh my gosh, ABG goes over to Dusty's and stuff." I do. I enjoy my time there. Thank you very much.
And we enjoy having you.
Thank you.
I am gonna get back to bed in a minute.
Oh.
Are there any final? Emmett, do you have any final questions?
Yes, I like.
Okay.
Let's stop the obfuscation. Okay, we're friends. We have 30 seconds left of our friendship.
Our friendship
invite
expired.
Andrew up? Let's get
Our
Andrew up
friendship
here.
expired.
No, let's go. Let's get Andrew
You
up
paid
here.
$2. It's 30 seconds
I'll pay
left,
more
okay?
than that. How much will it cost to get Andrew up here?
Pay me $50.
$50? For what?
She just asked.
I was asking Emmett. This is his stream.
Oh.
I've already paid you more than $50 for other things. Come on. For the friggin' like music and shit like that I've done on your stream. All right, let's do a super chat, right?
What do you
How much,
I'm not
Emmett?
that I'm trying to figure out what you're saying, Daria. You're a little bit quiet. What do you say?
I was saying that this is your stream, and I
Mhm.
would like to, if there is an amount that you would prefer to drop the link so that Andrew can join, right?
Oh. I mean, he can
How much
join.
is it?
It's fine. If he wants to join, so the link's
I don't know if
in
he'll
the
join.
chat.
Oh, there we go.
Mm.
It's free. Come on, you could have
Yeah,
grifted
it's
for
fine.
that. People would like pay for that. Come on,
Yeah,
get better at grifting.
You missed
Get
a good
better.
grift opportunity.
Get better at grifting.
There's always gonna be more grift opportunities, but there's not gonna be.
Mezcal and Dreamer is an e-thug.
But maybe I won't, or maybe I won't have another opportunity of having
Mezcal
Andrew
and
on my
Dreamer says,
channel.
"Snow, I want to meet Dusty in person and rearrange his face." All right, bitch.
There's a lot of people who want to do that.
Let's not agree to fights that like can be pulled up on.
Oh no, we're not agreeing to fights. That dude is full of shit. He's just another e-thug.
Okay, great.
Hello.
Yes.
Well, let me say hello, Andrew. Is that you?
Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm doing.
Thanks for having me up on your stream.
Hey, boss.
welcome.
Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too, Paige. How are you?
Good. Yourself?
Just living the dream.
Living the dream. Hell yeah.
What's up, Dusty? How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Good. You having fun covering your little lolsuit, bro? You having
My little
you having
lolsuit.
a,
This is
you guys. Are you guys having a good little time covering the little lolsuit?
We are having a good little time. You having a good time listening to it?
I just tuned in, so
yeah.
Literally, the second I started chatting was when I tuned in, when I heard the first crazy claim. So you got a bunch of stuff wrong, Dusty.
What's
a bunch of stuff you got wrong. Well, you talk about avoiding being served, right? That we're way past all that, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, then I guess I would readjust my strategy because I assumed you still hadn't been served.
No, that's all done. See, I wanted to get to the bottom of it, Dusty. I wanted to make sure I knew all the players who were involved because, I just want to know. Not for any particular reason. I'm not going to do anything, of course, but I wanted to make sure that I found out everybody who was fucking involved in this piece of shit lolsuit, which, by the way, you're not supposed to, that violates the cardinal rules that most creators put down. You don't do lolsuits, right?
Hey, why are you talking to me?
But when you do a lolsuit, I feel like after that it's game on, right? Like anything that's counter at that point is totally fair game once you move it into the legal sphere. Do you agree with that?
So you're going to counter me, is what you're saying.
What? I didn't say anything like. What are you talking about?
Why do you keep having that inflection? Trying to get down to the bottom of people, trying to figure out who's involved with it.
I'm not going to waste my time suing you peasants. You don't have any money.
Facts. So what do you get down to the bottom of for?
Well, because I'm just certain that there's more people involved in it than just Sarah to the tomato. And if that's the case, then I'm guessing that their reputations will take a massive hit too for being a part of a conspiracy to push a lolsuit.
So why do you think that?
Because of the phraseology and the way that this went down, I honestly don't think I don't think that she would have launched a lawsuit unless there was a bunch of people who were pushing her to. So it makes no sense, right? Like it's a loser on its face.
So this is just a vibe thing.
Here's the thing. Yeah, you know, like I guess, but I got a feeling I'm right.
Okay, so it's a vibe thing.
Just a brief interjection, sure. Can I just very brief? I promise, gentlemen. I did a preliminary search with respect to defendant being Sarah with her last name, and I discovered about 4 to 5 lawsuits wherein she was the primary plaintiff. So she does have experience in the court system, obviously.
So she sues people she doesn't like.
Yeah, she's very litigious, Andrew. That's what she does. Yeah, primarily in the family court system, but she's very litigious.
Well, family court's different. If she has a bunch of cases revolving around custody for her kids and stuff like that, I think that's different than going after YouTube content creators because they said things you thought were too mean on the internet. That's bizarre to me.
I don't disagree. I just think like it might open her mind to certain opportunities with respect to tort claims, which is what the current Maryland court case is, right? So,
just to clarify, Andrew, you're saying pretty much that these people who may be involved will take a hit to their reputation. You mean like people not wanting to work with them at all, right?
Yeah, that would be self-inflicted, right? I think that if it's the case that other creators know that if you work with certain people that you're going to just get sued for nonsense. I think that is an irreparable reputation hit that you self-inflict on yourself.
So Andrew's out here fishing for co-conspirators because he doesn't think that a woman who has a history of being litigious was litigious on her own.
Well, history of being litigious in custody cases, I think, is very different than a history of being litigious with like suing people on YouTube, Dusty. Don't you think?
I do think so.
Yeah, I think so too. So it seems odd to me, and all the same players who have been like my long-term ankle biters, like you and the Thorpes, and all of you fuckers seem to always be involved in this shit. It's weird.
That might just be your paranoia.
Paranoia. Can you? If I'm paranoid, Dusty, go over to your channel and tell me how many of your streams have my name in it.
How many?
Tell me.
Well, I'm not going to do that right now. But just because I make content, let's say 5. Just because I make content with your name in it. Okay, let's say 10.
Yeah.
Let's say it's hold on. Let's say it's 100 of them.
Sure.
Let's say it's 100 of them. Let's say let's say I'm Cool Vic and my whole channel is devoted to you, but
we don't even need to do that, gentlemen. I can advance a personal first-hand account. So definitely not whatever is a woman who does a bunch of hate streams about Andrew. She's also a mod on Dusty's channel, and I think Dusty, right? Unless she's been removed. And all of her Andrew streams have earned her over 1K subscribers. So she currently has 1K. I think it's 1.2K. And she only got that based on reviewing Andrew streams and hating on Andrew.
Right. But
okay, but
there's a distinction there between that and people who launch troll campaigns with merchandise and other things like this, go on their streams, take credit for doing that, and happen to be involved with the same person who launches a litigious lawsuit against a YouTube creator.
So you think that because I made content that was critical of you, I was involved in a lawsuit?
No, I think that you were real cozy with Sarah Tomato, and I do think you were involved in this. Yes, way more than you say. I've always thought so.
But you're gonna acknowledge that it's just a gut feeling, right? You actually have no reason to think that I'm involved in it at all.
Do I need one?
I mean, if you want it to be taken credibly as credible, I would think so.
By who? I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from this, right?
Aren't you operating in
I've learned a lot from this experience.
Mm-hmm. Don't trust
what have you learned?
Ever.
He already didn't trust women. But my point is that you're trying to operate in public opinion and saying that it would be damaging for anybody's reputation who was involved in the lawsuit. Now, is it going to impact your reputation when you've been shown to run all around the internet, indulging in your paranoia, accusing people of doing shit that you have no reason to believe? And you yourself know that you have no reason to believe that.
Well, no, I have reason to believe it.
A hunch.
Well, no, there's more reason than that. The fact of the matter is that you were very cozy with Sarah, took a lot of credit for the various things that she was doing to try to launch attacks against me, including saying that she had justification for all. So you were defending her suit tonight, man. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. So every time I turn around, there's the powder Dusty. Every time I turn around, there's the powder Dusty.
I think that she has a case if it gets to court. I've said that from the beginning. My position's never changed. It's an objective opinion about the state of affairs. It's not a value opinion.
A case against with the court for what?
Yeah. What was my crime?
What was exactly the tort? Because it's a civil case, right, related to tort offenses, and I'm just curious, what tort exactly has she violated? If it's defamation, I would want proof that lewds are basically correlated with respect to defamation.
Yeah, you got a defamation on a public figure.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. Sorry, Andrew, hold on. You laugh like you can't defame public figures. You, in fact, can defame public figures.
Sure, you can, but it's really hard to say that you defame public figures when you say way worse shit about them than they do about you.
So what would be
when you call public figures cult leaders and you fucking like all of that shit. If you're just using defamation per se, that opens the other party up just as badly as you. And then they are making an admission that they believe it's defamation per se by launching a suit in the first place. It's crazy. So imagine doing that. Imagine saying, I believe that this is defamation. The court says, no, it's not. But you seem to think that it actually is.
The court hasn't said shit yet, though.
So in order to be
there's never gonna Dusty, there's never gonna be a ruling on this. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. It's gonna be gone I bet you it's gone by June.
In order to be defamation, it would have to be, number one, new information which was defamatory that hasn't been disclosed by the public figure, and or if in the case of defamation per se, information which disclosed a crime, right, which was cumulative for that figure insofar as it would expose them to legal or criminal damages in the form of restitution. So when did Andrew accuse Sarah of prostitution?
Yeah, when did that happen? I don't recall that.
Okay, well, I wouldn't expect you to recall it. I wouldn't recall it either if I were you.
Well, what they're saying, this is the difference that I wanted to point out when it comes to common parlance and when it comes to legal parlance, is that you can call somebody on the internet a prostitute.
Well, no. So if it forms the basis of the claim,
hey, Dusty, you should remember. Hang on. Hey, Dusty. Bill Gates is an online prostitute. Did I just defame him?
If he wanted to go after you, I'm sure that he could.
You would consider saying calling something online prostitution as defamatory?
It is defamatory. Yes, I would.
So there's no common parlance for that then, Dusty?
Not for a legally defined word. You don't get to bring your own definitions to court.
Well, poor Dusty. Do you realize that if there's a legality to a matter, right, they're going to take into consideration the meaning of the terminology to apply a legal standard to it, Dusty?
Yes.
The entirety of this thing is just vibes and intent. The whole thing. Just like, I just vibe that this is bad, man.
Yep. It's all vibes and intent. I agree. It's all vibes and intent.
It's all vibes and intent. And let me tell you what's going to happen with this. At least this is my feeling. Now, maybe I'm 100% wrong, but I'm pretty good at calling these things correctly. My guess, gone by June. If not, and they want to lose a ton of cash, I guess that's up to them, right? Because that may be this. I don't know, but it just seems really stupid to me because it's a loser.
No.
So that's my guess.
Tell me to shut up at any point, Andrew, if I overstep a line. But number one, there's been a motion to dismiss. Number two, primary parties by which the contractual relationship was formed have not been served properly. Number three, there hasn't been any clear case for defamation per se or equivocally that's been demonstrated in a court of law. And number four,
no, it's no. It's way worse than that. It's way worse than that.
Oh, it's even worse.
The dismissal case is way stronger than anything you just stated. It's not.
Oh, great.
I mean, it's bad. It's devastating. It would be.
Please don't.
I would be. I'm not going to. I'm just saying I would be absolutely stunned if the other side even bothered. Well, if they even bothered, they didn't just withdraw it. It's the dumbest case on planet Earth. There's no chance. I'm never going to settle in a million years. I would rather be destitute, living out of my car with my two kids left at home and my wife, and have everything taken, than pay a dime, than pay anything.
Yeah.
Which is the worst type of person to go after, because it'll just never happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just open the door for other people to make trivial lawsuits, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've represented clients like that before. It's like they'd honestly, like, there's no reasonable cause of action in their mind, and they would rather be destitute than defend it and proceed to trial, because trial is so expensive. It's just like, let's take the $5,000 loss and just go forward with a nuisance settlement, or just go forward with a nuisance cost claim, right? If it's low enough that it's in small claims court, I think it's in civil court right now, right? Where it's below 25,000, just pay it and just be like, fuck you. You know, if the judge awards it, great. Who cares?
I will say that that it is a little bit interesting to me, especially in these spaces when we are tongue in cheek a lot of times, that we are saying whenever you use a term that has any kind of definition that might be seen as a legal term, that you can just get sued. That seems a little bit high of a standard.
I mean, it's a statement of reality.
It's not just that. It's even it becomes even worse, right? You're talking about online drama beef where you had escalation from the opposite side as the person who's being sued.
Absent any kind of initiation. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the escalator. It's like, that's fucking crazy to me. It's like, you escalate it and then sue the person. You're like, this will teach you. Oh shit, that didn't work. Well, then I guess that's just wild.
That's why I asked you the other day, do you think that the calendar pinup thing was bait?
Well, it's not bait. It's just escalation.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's bait.
She gained profits from that, and every single freaking cope stream that she did about Andrew, right? And that should all be deemed as mitigation with respect to any kind of losses or damages.
Well, it's not just that. The fact of the matter is that I have stronger claims. Like, if I were to sue, my claims are way stronger. And it's like, I don't even understand it. It's just bizarre. It's just bizarre to me. It's like, and plus, drag Rob Knorr into it. Like, how are you ever going to justify this, Dusty? It's like, okay, Andrew Wilson bad. I get it, right? So you sue Andrew. He said mean things on the internet. What the fuck is she suing Rob for? You know what she sued him for? Because he might have profited by it somehow. That's literally the extent of her claim. Is that somebody anyone's ever going to want to deal with again, dude? Like, if you're just my friend, you're going to get sued?
So the potential pain and suffering, aka like loss of income claim that he might have as a result of those raids, which were trolling in nature, right, might actually negate any kind of claim that she might have over him in that regard. In my legal opinion, which is not to be taken as
it's really funny to me though. It's like, look, I'm actually a pretty nice guy. I'm a fairly decent fellow. I tend to walk away from nonsense like this, even when I've been wrong. I just tend to walk away from it. But like suing adjacent people, they're not going to just walk away. What they don't have anything to lose either. It's like it's just crazy. I'll never understand what could possibly be going through people's heads here. But yeah, I do, Dusty. I do want to get to the bottom. I do want to actually figure out how many people were involved in this. I do. I know I'll never be able to figure it out with you because, I don't know. You want to be evasive and this and that. But I get it. But I'm just saying, it just seems like there's some other people involved. Is it just all intuitive? Sure. But am I probably right? Also, yeah, probably right.
You have to subpoena him, I guess. Find out. That's the only way he's going to disclose that. And like, honestly, Andrew, if I was his attorney, that's the only
I ain't gonna put Dusty through all that nonsense. There ain't no reason to. Why would I going after people who are adjacent is a very Sarah the Tomato move. Right?
Well, I do it all the time in my current profession. I mean, why the fuck not? I do it all the time because I'm like, they have the information I need. Like if it's I do a lot of product liability litigation. So like I'll sue the manufacturer, right? And I'll proceed against the distributor. And
if there was something pertaining to a case and the attorneys want to do subpoenas, that's one thing. But I'm not worried about that. I don't think that's going anywhere. But if it's the case that like people decide that they're going to do counterclaims, I think
have a certain amount of time after you
see them,
right? They have limited.
I think that I may not go crazy on this shit, but I got a feeling other people are going to. They're fucking pissed. So it's like you lose all of your justification for anything at that point. It's like, who do you go to for sympathy then? Like you initiated all of it. Just wild to me. I'll never understand the mindset. And maybe that's just I'll just never understand stupid people's mindsets. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. Do I think that Dusty was part of that? No. I honestly don't. I think the primary motivation of him disclosing chats primarily relates to number one, his content, right? Because it's related to people's individual disclosures. And number two, I think it relates to his perception on the Nah. Sarah has whoobies.
These women have whoobies. They tend to disclose things to their little whoobies, So, and Dusty was definitely a Sarah the Tomato whoopie for a while.
Her tits are on his freaking phone or something. I don't know.
No, the whoopie, their little comfort person or whatever, And that was Dusty for a while. He was the Sarah the Tomato comfort guy.
Like Mahler is for JP.
Yeah. It would a whoopie.
She's so old. She looks like she's like 50 and she's only 38,
Well, she's sending kids home with snacks, right? She's sending she likes the younger guys because she can send them home with snacks. That's what she said. Send them home with snacks.
She's been in a tanning bed since the age of 16. Her skin is so wrinkled that like you can't even tell where her eyes begin, her forehead starts.
It's rough. But it's like, I think so. I do. I think personally that there's other folk who tangentially at least have involvement. So
okay.
I do.
So how much are you how much of this is about you? Like I'm sure you've heard me speculate that I think that you're trying to construct a defense where basically she is a dumb puppet of nefarious actors around her, and therefore she doesn't have a case. She would never have thought she had a case, but she was manipulated by Dusty and the Thorpes, and that we moved to dismiss.
No, that wouldn't even be a good legal theory. So you're way off there.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a legal theory at all. Yeah.
I look, Dusty. I know that one day. I know this is really difficult for you to believe, right? Even though I'm proven right time and time again. Remember that time I went on your stream and you were saying that it was botted and I was fudging the numbers and all kinds of weird shit, I'm just going to be straight up with you. None of that shit ever happened. It was all completely a fabrication of your mind. None of it happened ever. And I was just totally direct and honest with you. Hang on.
So we're
I was
both
just totally
paranoid.
stop, bro. I was totally direct and honest with you, just like I am now. Still being totally direct and honest with you. I just think that yes, your involvement in this is more than you're letting on. Yes, I do believe that. Am I going to do anything about it? Probably not. But still, yeah, I do think so.
So we're both paranoid and delusional.
I'm not sure if it's paranoia or delusion on this front,
I'm
man.
not sure that you're not botting yourself.
Well, Dusty, is that are you saying that in legal terminology?
Do I bot the super chats too, Dusty? Do I send my own super chats to myself at a loss?
Straw man.
Does that send myself my own super chats?
Straw
Oh
man.
Lord.
That's a lot of super chats for bots, bro. These fucking Chinese bots are
just sidestep what I said and attack something else.
So
okay. Well, here let's attack both things because that's the argument for the attack. One, that's really a stupid line of attack because you can always tell in a channel when they're botted because of the high amount of traffic and the low amount of super chats, Dusty.
So Dusty typically gets about $250 to $400 in super chats a stream, from what I have witnessed.
Yeah, right. Fucking right.
Absolutely, actually,
I don't believe it.
Depending on whether or not this guy named Mike23 supports him, he will get up to $400. You, Andrew, obviously secure way more. I know I mod for you. You can secure up to over $6,000, anywhere between $3,000 and $6,000 a stream.
Yeah, well, no, I think Dusty's average is probably something more akin. If I had to guess, I would guess that Dusty makes about $6,000 roughly a month on YouTube, something in there.
He's made I think, how much have you made, Dusty? I think it was over 3,200 and something. So I think it could be higher actually per month.
My highest stream was a bit over 2,000. If you go to Playboard, I was number 32 yesterday.
32.
He does have a good super chat.
You're up there, bro.
Rendition.
You're killing it.
Not bad for 3,000 subs.
No, that's not bad for 3,000 subs. You got a whale in there somewhere.
He has a very dedicated team. He has about 3 to 4 whales. I've noticed.
But yeah, that's my guess. Is that I would still guess the average is about $6,000-7,000 a month. That would be my guess. I could be wrong, but that's what I would guess.
I think it's slightly more, but around that, yeah.
I mean,
it depends on the month. There's play.
Yeah. So in that range, correct?
Yeah, I would say that's a good average.
Okay.
Some months are slower. I think my best month was about 15. If you count, I mean, not just in super chats. If you count in cash apps and stuff.
Right. Yeah. So on average, about 6 to 7. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm just talking about YouTube. No cash app, none of that. Just YouTube.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing around 6,000. 6,000 roughly, or 7. That would make sense for the amount of traffic that you have.
I guess.
Yeah, that would make sense for the amount of traffic you have, the amount of super chats you get, right? Are you botting that though? Because that's higher than average, Dusty. You know, $6,000-7,000 a month is higher than average for that match.
All of his super chatters are regular folk, Andrew, that attend the channel. So
are you sure? Are you sure that he's not botting? Because it's it's higher than average.
Have you seen the graph? The graph goes and they're all regular supporters of the channel. Yes, it's higher than average. So there's no reason for me to think that he's not botting it. Maybe he's sending himself. Maybe here's my new theory. Dusty is sending himself as Mike23 his own recycled super chats, knowing YouTube's going to take 30% just to make himself look good. That's my theory. If I hadn't talked to Mike23 separately.
Jeez. I don't know. I still think that my theory is the better one. for no good reason at all.
You can go with that, sir. You are my boss, so I will defer to you on that point.
So for no good theory or for no good reason at all, I just decided that that's the case.
I mean, that's par for the course.
Mm-hmm. For you, yes.
No,
for you,
you're the one up here on a vibe. Par for the course. No good reason, just an instinct.
No, I have good reasons. I don't have proof, but I have good reasons. You never even had good reasons. Like you had no reason to believe that. I have
just as good as yours, sir. My instincts are even better.
No, it's not instinctual. You were close friends with her. You've been involved since the beginning with this thing. You were involved with the merch shit. You were involved with the copyright stuff. You had tons of crosstalk back and forth. And her close confidants.
Hold on, what copyright stuff? Hold on, what copyright stuff?
When she was using the brand logo stuff, the cuckable stuff.
Oh, I made a mug.
I know. Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware, Dusty. You made a mug bastardizing my logo. I know.
Yes.
That had nothing to do with.
I made a parody. I made a parody.
Yeah, you made a parody. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. That's what you guys are calling it, right? A parody?
Correct. It's a parody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did it bear any of the same trademark elements that might expose you guys to
copyright? Oh, there's so many. It's not that there's some. There's so many, and they've been so public about it.
I know it's not Dusty's fault, so I'm trying to ascertain whether or not there was any copyright infringements that might expose you to a trademark lawsuit.
I don't know. Do you have that font trademark or copywritten?
That's not how copyright works.
Yeah, you're right. So I don't think so. Not unless you copyright font.
It can be likeness as well.
No, it's just likeness, bro. That's it. Yeah. Especially somebody admitting that they took the likeness and bastardized it to hurt the brand.
No.
You guys are so stupid, bro. You guys are so dumb. Like, it's unbelievable how stupid you people are. You're just public with it. You're just public with it. It's just crazy to me.
I'm not worried about it.
You took a brand, Dusty. You took a brand. And then what you did was you publicly said, linked it to me in the dumbest way possible, made it look exactly like the brand, except for a couple of word differences. And then after that, you sold shit. You actually sold material with that brand on it, Dusty.
The easiest way to
It's not your brand.
Absolve yourself is to not admit this was your idea. Let's just not admit this was your idea, because any kind of trademark.
He already did. He's already publicly said it 100 times.
The entire parody thing was not your brand.
Oh, I know, Dusty. It was just a parody. It wasn't. It was a parody in the likeness of my brand.
It makes you mad that parodies are allowed.
So,
what do you mean? What are you talking about, Dusty?
You seem upset that somebody would dare to parody something.
Component, right? A trademark litigation component based on likeness involves disputes where an individual's name, image, signature, or persona is used in a commercial product, right? A sold product in a way that is confusingly similar to a registered trademark or implies unauthorized endorsement.
Confusingly similar.
Based on a brand that's popular.
Ain't nobody confused.
Nah, nobody's confused, Dusty. You're right.
I don't like taking this position. This is like but come on, Dusty, just fucking disavow it. Just disavow it, please.
He can't now.
Why would I disavow it?
Yeah, he didn't do anything wrong.
Disavow it. It's actionable. If
I understand.
Does a discovery.
I understand that Andrew's mad. He doesn't like being the butt of jokes. However, it's just it comes with the turf.
I know, but at least disavow it before you're,
Wait, Dusty.
Take it down off the site.
Wait, when we're talking about
those haven't been available for months.
When we were talking about this a moment ago, it had nothing to do whether it's a joke or not. It's just whether or not it's actionable according to legal definitions.
It is actionable according to current trademark legislation, which
it sure is.
Anything is actionable. Anything is actionable. You
Okay,
can.
Okay.
He could file a lawsuit for
mindset.
anything.
Is it actionable in the legal sense? Is a different definition which we need to or ought to consider when we're talking about things like specialized natures of litigation, i.e., trademark litigation.
Yeah. Confusingly similar is the key phrase there. Read that again. That sentence.
Confusingly similar. Can
Everybody
somebody
knows.
actually
Everybody knows it was
applicable?
different, right, Andrew?
What do you mean?
I mean, you just agreed with me that nobody was confused about it.
I don't know. If I had that mug and my mug and it was a few feet away from me, I don't know if I could tell the difference. Could
So
you?
You're changing your story now.
Could you tell it the difference?
Absolutely, because I can read.
Oh.
Absolutely.
No. You can read it when it's a few feet away from you?
Yes, I can. You can't?
No, I can't.
I guess you have correct.
I guess it wouldn't be confusing for people with glasses, huh, Dusty?
Or people who can see and read. I presume anybody ordering something off a website can read the website in order to order the product, don't you?
Well, I mean, what if it was a gift?
Well, I assume that whoever ordered it in the first place, somebody had to be able to read that website, right?
Maybe, but now you're gifting these brands that are an awful lot like other brands.
You are doing a lot of reaching down there, Stretch Armstrong.
Let's be honest, right?
I'm just gonna say this,
guys.
Just a second. I'm just gonna say this. Disney has done a ton of trademark for a lot less, and for things that look a lot less like Disney.
100%. That's that. Now, when I say actionable, I don't mean it's actionable like, oh, well, anybody can just take action and sue anybody for anything. Actionable usually means you think that the court would actually side in your favor. That's what actionable would mean here. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Andrew, I think everybody understood that, but it's important to clarify because.
Well, Dusty didn't understand it. He said everything's actionable.
Well, he did, and I disagree. I don't think everything is actionable. So
yeah, I disagree too, which is why I clarified. I agree. Everything is not actionable.
And I apologize if at any time, like I said, I'm overstepping. Please let me know.
Oh no, there's no overstepping. I'm having a good time.
You're having a good time. Okay, great.
Yeah,
okay, great. So here.
I like Dusty. He's great. He's swell.
He is, right? And so here's the concern, right? Sarah could have, right, utilized the Crucible jacket, which she received, by the way, for a 1-month membership. I think it was a gold Crucible jacket, right, Andrew?
No, that's not what happened at all.
She didn't receive a Crucible jacket with a gold C?
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, I'm not going to get into the context of how she got it, but that wasn't like that. No.
Okay, but she did get one, right?
Well, get one. She had one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Sorry. That's
yeah,
all
she
I'm trying
had
to
one.
verify. The jacket in the photo, right, which is of contention before the panel right now, is a red C in a slightly different font, right, in a jacket which is not indicative of the original supposed right gift, because she did tell people that it was a gift. Okay, can everybody agree with that?
No.
Explain that, Andrew, please. Sorry.
I can't dive into it, but no, I disagree.
You don't think that the cuckable jacket that she was wearing was not the same as anything that the Crucible had provided her with?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the series of events leading to that are incorrect.
Okay. That's fine. But the jacket that she inevitably posted was not one which was authentically from the Crucible, correct?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the photo.
It wasn't.
I mean, probably not.
I've looked at it. Because it says it's the cuckable jacket. She doesn't even utilize. The jacket that Sarah owns is the yellow one for the 100K, right?
Yeah, she just bastardized the logo. Yeah.
Yeah,
I get it.
Utilized that, to produce a cuckable jacket that is unlike the current one. Trust me, I'm not trying to. I would never try and like argue against you, Andrew. The
Well,
current one
I'm not even arguing, right? I'm just like refusing to reveal any details on that. That's all.
yeah, and if that's for legal reasons, I respect that. But
Yeah.
from
So
my understanding,
I'm just not gonna reveal any knowledge that it might have of these things for any
and that's
ongoing
fine.
matters.
Please don't. Please don't. If that's of a detriment to the case, please do not. My understanding is that the jacket that she received had a yellow logo on it. The one that is in the photo is a red logo. It looks completely different. The C is slightly different, right, than the current Crucible logo. And as such, it is a replica of what she had received, i.e., Sarah, right? Weigman had utilized a script and effectively an image that was not provided to her for free.
Interesting theory.
Insofar as that is true, right, that would imply that she had skewed an existing copyrighted image, right, for her own use, which would imply copyright infringement, i.e.,
Yeah.
if it was utilized for a defamatory purpose, defamation legally.
You don't say. That's an interesting theory you got there.
It is an interesting theory, isn't it?
It is.
It's almost like I have the experience with this, which I do, by the way. People don't think I do, but I do.
Interesting theory, but
Yes.
not one that I'm going to comment on. Not one I'm going to comment on.
Sir, as you
Yeah.
should not.
Yeah.
Other gentlemen, please weigh in.
I just I mean, I've seen the whole thing. I always thought the lawsuit is completely insane and will be thrown out. I don't think it has any merits to it. I've listened to different angles to it. Obviously, I'm not gonna ask you much more about it, Andrew. I think I mean, you are in litigation after all. So, but yeah, when it comes to the space, I just think that it's a little bit insane especially when we use a lot of jokes and a lot of tongue in cheek and a lot of common
terrible idea to sue a content creator in this space over trivialities. It's a terrible idea. I don't know. I don't know. I think, one thing Dusty did say that I always agreed with, so maybe she just couldn't take an L. Maybe this is all to say. I don't know, because it's really fucking stupid. It's just like trying to get the motivation is very difficult for me because it's just really stupid.
Oh, as a woman, can I some like a woman?
Oh, you're gonna tell us the woman perspective.
Yeah. So my mother is a crazy woman. So I do have experience with crazy women. Oh yeah. Yeah, crazy women attach themselves to any kind of ideal man that they can peg. So not in a sexual sense, obviously, in the context of which they can utilize their resources and or their status. So in Andrew's case,
you mean like Sarah's entire channel that she tried to build around me?
Yeah, and now she switched it to the leftist, i.e., T-Jump, i.e., she really wants destiny, right? So she's trying to like scramble to try and get every single step.
Yeah, I think that Destiny is all done getting sued by women at this point. So
I think so as well. I mean,
yeah, I think that Destiny is. I think that he just is not wanting to go around litigious women. Like
Yeah.
I think that's probably not a thing that the Coomer Gremlin wants to do. Is go around
Andrew, I would love to believe you. I don't think that's true. I think like he's a sucker for risk, and he's going to pursue that. And also, we know statistically, men are more likely to be pursuers of risk over women. Insofar as I'm able to weigh in on both sides, because I am a woman, albeit a weird one, and I also understand male insight. I think that the scale here is pretty definite. Sarah has experienced a loss, Andrew was tied to the original win, but she thought she might be able to play both sides of the field. Andrew and a leftist. Hopefully Destiny, maybe counterpoints, maybe T-jump, maybe something like that. She couldn't.
Well,
right?
Destiny
She's
hasn't been on.
pissed.
I don't think Destiny's been on her channel, but I do think
She
that
hasn't. Like,
all
yeah,
of
she hasn't
these-
had Destiny on her channel. Emmett, I never said that. I said hoping to procure, right? Operative words here. Okay.
Well, I'm sure that the Coomer Gremlin would even go on, but
yeah,
his audience, like these fucking people. This is what I mean by how stupid these people are. Like I've even tried to tell them, and they just don't listen to me because they think I'm gatekeeping or something by telling them the actual truth. Here's the actual truth: the Dalaban and DGG, they're not like the Crucible's audience. The Crucible audience is very loyal. They're mostly men who are in their 30s and 40s or late 20s.
That's true.
Most of them are married, or a good portion of them are married. They have families, things like this. There might be a few nutcases who go and fucking do crazy shit. I don't know. When you have, just thousands of people who watch you, you can't. There's no way for you to make those determinations, right? But the Dalaban is different. DGG is full of young people. And they are not loyal to any creator except for Destiny. And what they tend to do is pump other creators up and then shut them down. Like Pisco Liddy, for one.
Or
like Not So Erudite. Like all of these people. Destiny has no long-term relationship with anybody for very long. It's just not his thing. But Connor, Wick, all those guys, all those guys thought that they would do the same thing. They'd attach themselves to Destiny and then they would blow up. Wick never did. He does the same exact thing Sarah does. He has panels, sets up debates for Destiny, moderates the debates for him, never turned into shit for him. Never turned into anything for Connor. Never turned into anything for any of them.
Yeah.
That's what
I ignore those, Andrew, except for this Friday. I've actually got a panel with Roller Tomasi. Any advice?
What do you mean? What kind of panel?
For Rolo.
Yeah, what kind of panel though?
It's a dating and relationships panel. So I'm prepared for
Rolo's a seasoned creator.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to have any trouble with him. He's actually also just a kind of a nice guy. Rolo, he is.
Thought so.
So he's not one. He's not going to like make trouble and shit. That's not his way. So I mean, it'll probably be a pretty chill panel. Honestly, Rolo's really not the overtly confrontational type. He's more he thinks of himself more like a teacher than he does debater and things like that. So I mean, he's pretty chill. But the prominent leftists that these panel people want to get on, they don't have those audiences tear the panels apart. They don't care. They're only interested in Destiny's victory, right? They don't care about anything else. They don't. It's not the same kind of audience that I have. I'll tell my audience, hey, these guys hosted us. It's very kind of them. Go over, make sure you send some super chats, make sure that you help them out because I want to help out people who platform us, right? And I think it boosts smaller creators too. And most smaller creators seem pretty appreciative of that. And as long as they're not complete shitheads like somebody on this panel, I don't mind doing that for them. Right? I literally don't mind doing that. I've always thought
Andrew,
that's.
We just met. What's up?
Yeah.
I don't think it's you, Emmett.
I've never minded doing that. I've always thought that was like a form of giving back to the community, right? The idea is, hey, people will platform you, and they do some legwork and this and that to set these things up. I think that there's some rewards that come with that. I've always thought that was the case. So, but it's a totally different type of audience. They'll go in and be like, hey, thanks for hosting. This was great, blah, blah, blah. They'll leave some cash. They're pretty respectful in the chat. They're not breaking the TOS. They don't turn into stalkers. Like it's a whole different type of chat. And like these people, they want to get in bed with the devil. It's just like watching the crash and burn from that is some of the funnest entertainment that I've ever had in my life. Because by the way, all of this happened before. This all happened before with PP years and years ago. It was the same shit. Left there, their whole shit tanked, right? And then they turned to Destiny, and it just didn't work out. It's like it's the history repeating itself.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrew, by the way, for you and your wife, by the way, Rachel, for highlighting me, and thank you for being supporters of the channel. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, see how this nice guy lets me on, and immediately there's some rewards for that.
I thought you hated women. I thought you hated women. You know, like I guess we gotta, hate on me now.
Not as much as I should.
That's true. Oh, so I'm a huge Andrew supporter, guys. Andrew's been a major mentor and an amazing guy. So, heck yeah.
I don't hate them as much as they deserve. That's all.
Right wing chicks are like legitimate right wing Orthodox chicks. Hard to hate on, but yeah.
Yeah, I just don't trust any women in this space at all.
That's
it was really funny. I remember when I had that first convo with Sarah, I told her literally that you're just cataloging everything I say and everything that I do to use against me later. Like, oh, I'm not that type of person.
And here she is with a law.
Look at that, Dusty. That intuition, Dusty. That I can't trust. That terrible intuition.
Yeah, Dusty, you said that you don't hate feminism. So, like, can you tell us what's not wrong with feminism?
I just think that feminism is a non-issue. I think it's a good paper tiger on these debate spaces, but in reality, I just don't think that feminism is a big issue.
Threatening.
It's not threatening. You have to you kind of have to choose and seek it out to engage with it. I mean, I lived my whole adult life until I came to YouTube. Didn't encounter feminism at college. It just is a non-factor. And as far as finding women goes, there's a ton of women who want traditional relationships. Like, if you can't find anybody but a feminist, I don't know what to tell you about where you're looking.
You don't think that feminism is a prominent issue?
No, not anymore.
Okay, well,
I think that there are fringe radicals.
I'm gonna let you guys do this.
Yeah. Well, when was it a prominent issue?
Honestly, actually, I don't know that ever.
Never. Right. So the whole reshaping the face of society, radical feminism throughout, especially the 70s and the 60s. You don't think that was a major problem?
I think you're giving them more credit than they deserve.
Okay.
When I think of traditional feminism, I think of them getting voters' rights for women. When I think of today's fourth wave feminism, I think of a fringe group of blue-haired weirdos who don't really have much impact.
Yeah, you're conflating feminism with woke rather than taking it as an ideology. So people do this with communism too, right? They say, well, communism, when I think communism, I think of, little dorky weirdos on TikTok. And, well, that's true. There's a lot of purveyors of communism who are little dorky weirdos on TikTok. But there's also communist nations that have revolutions due to the fact that that ideology becomes ingratiated. And we had several feminist revolutions here because the ideology became ingratiated. It's in the air you breathe. It's on the floor you walk on. It's in the society you're literally ingratiated in. And you've never even questioned it, which is kind of hilarious to me.
When you're asking me about feminism, define what it is that you're asking me about.
Yeah, feminism is the movement of egalitarianism to replace patriarchal structures. And it's been a very successful movement in moving towards egalitarianism and replacing patriarchal structures. So right now, for instance, if you think it's not a big deal, there's discriminatory laws where you can't not hire women, right? Just because they're women.
Right.
That's a policy that shapes all of society, right?
Less so now than it did. But yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I think
how can you say less so now when suddenly, you can go into military with lesser standards, law enforcement with lesser standards. You can apply for jobs and you have to get it due to a form of white girl affirmative action. Like it reshaped the entire structures of the world you live in, bro.
My understanding of those laws is that Trump repealed a lot of them. I haven't been in the workforce.
Well, he didn't. No, he didn't. These are part of these are still part of employee hiring acts. None of the lowered standards for police, military, various jobs like this, firefighters, have been repealed, reduced, or gotten rid of. As much as Hegseth would love to have that happen, right? These are radical reshapings of the social order in which you live, and you're just like, well, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't think that it's impacted me as much as you think it has. How do you think
that
it's impacted you? Hold on.
Yeah,
I wasn't done. Hold on. Let me finish. How do you feel? Because I don't feel like it's impacted me. I don't feel like I've lost a job to a woman. I don't feel like I've ever not been carried out of a burning building because the fireman was a woman. Do you think that it's impacted your life?
Yeah, I would say that there's no policy that you can point to then that's impacted your life. None. If that's the case. If the case is your metric is, well, these policies exist which shape all the reality that I live in, but I've never directly had an experience where a woman took my job or where I had to deal with the fact that there was some sort of affirmative claims for women in courts and things like this, where they get lesser sentences. I personally never dealt with that, therefore it's not a problem. I would just say that about name a law that is, name any law which has affected you.
I would say the war on drugs has affected me greatly.
Okay. So, but it hasn't affected me, Dusty, so it's no big deal.
I'm not saying that something has to affect me for it to be a big deal. I'm just saying I think that you're giving feminism more credit than it deserves. I think that you're blaming it for impact.
Well, what impacts am I blaming it for that it doesn't deserve to be blamed for exactly?
For instance, and I guess I haven't heard you say this, but I've heard a lot of people around here say that try to start blurring the gay and trans movement into feminism. Do you think that those two are related?
Yes,
tied?
They're relational, yes, but they're not. When you're talking about those types of correlates, they're relational, but not necessarily direct. But yes, it is in fact true that without modern feminist voting trends, that the trans issue never would have become a problem to begin with.
So, and that's the sort of mindset that I think. I don't think that that's feminism. I think that's an entirely separate brand of insanity. I think that
well, egalitarianism is the cornerstone of feminism, and trans ideology's cornerstone is egalitarianism. So
also,
they're definitely relational.
I hear a lot of people, and I believe I've heard you say it too, point to abortion as a feminist product, but in reality, men vote for abortion more than women, and it makes sense, right? Because men want sex without recourse.
Where are you getting these numbers?
Oh, memory.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense with the bottom blocks. Like,
yeah, I don't have sources offhand.
Ready? Here's your sources. Women are significantly more likely than men to support and vote for legal abortion. The gender gap is so wide, in fact, that it's been heavily studied. About 64% of women believe abortion should be legal in all or most cases, compared to only 55% of men. So, no, you appear to be incorrect. Large majorities of both Democratic women and Republican women vote for abortion in comparison to their male counterparts. So I don't know, where did you get this idea from, Dusty? You just made it up, or
I don't recall where I read it.
Yeah. So yes, it is in fact the case that women overwhelmingly support abortion in comparison to men. Yeah.
So the 19th. Would you repeal the 19th?
Well, hang on. This is an interesting pivot, but before I let you off the hook, you would agree then that feminism has a massive relationship with abortion. In fact, Margaret Sanger, who was a self-described feminist, was the founder of Planned Parenthood. And you know what Planned Parenthood's famous for, right, Dusty?
Absolutely. She was also a eugenicist and a racist. She was all the ists.
Well, everyone in her time was a racist. She wasn't like everybody was. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure that slapping her with the racist model is necessary. However, she did take it a step further because she seemed to want specifically for blacks to embrace abortion more than any other race. So that does seem very eugenic in nature. But yeah, but it's that's all feminism, bro. And I just demonstrated to you the numbers, so I don't know how you can say that that's not a big deal.
So that's fine. That's fine. I'll concede the abortion point. Again, so if you look at the feminist movement, right? What do you think aside and because I'm not a feminist, right? I think it's overall been a negative impact on society. However, I just don't. I think that it gets drummed up into this big thing and it gets held accountable for things that it isn't really involved with. Like you said, the trans issue. I don't view that as a feminism issue at all.
Well, but wait, how can you not? The ones who are going in for contact sports, they're almost always M to F, right? They're almost always male to female because they have advantages in sports leagues, right?
Right.
And the only reason that this is allowed at all is through the ideals of egalitarian feminism, who they want to actually muddy the water on what a woman is. And they're always LGBTQ allies. Like the feminism and LGBTQ alliances go back to the beginning roots of feminism itself.
Feminism is actually feminists tend to be the strongest opponents of trans movements because for that reason, right? They're women who fought for women's rights, women's spaces, women's this, women's that, and so now that those
are TERFs, and they're a minority. Those are called trans exclusionary radical feminists, like J.K. Rowling. She's a trans exclusionary radical feminist. Right. She's a TERF. They're a very, very tiny percentage of feminists.
Do you have statistics on that?
Oh yeah, for the amount of women who self-describe as being feminists and supporters of LGBTQ, it's overwhelming.
All right, can I go back to the pivot?
Yeah.
What would you roll back from feminism?
What would I roll back? What does that mean? Like policies?
I mean, just when you think of the feminist movement.
Oh,
right? You started back at Sanger. You got a pencil. You're gonna have to write. You're gonna have to write a lot of shit down. Let's see. And so let's pretend we'll be as charitable as possible. That Andrew Wilson is the king, and everything he says goes without saying. And then I'm just going to roll back pure feminist policies, right? Is that what you're looking for? Sure. I'm looking at the outcomes that you think are problematic that we're dealing with today, and that you want to do.
So let's start with all affirmative action claims are gone for women. You can be discriminated against just because you're a woman, and you can be discriminated against just because you're a man. Because we have freedom of association in this country, and feminists can kiss my ass, right? So that would be the first thing that I'd roll back. The second thing that I'd roll back is the lowering of standards for women in male space occupations. So if you can't do the same amount of push-ups that the male soldiers can, you don't get the job. Same thing if you're in the fire department. Same thing if you're in any of that. I'd also roll back all of the court advantages as quickly as possible so that we didn't have instant defaults in custodial agreements towards women. Now, there's some progress which has been made on that through men's rights advocacy groups, the MRAs. Some of them have done a fairly good job of putting political pressure on some politicians, but it's not nearly enough. That's the next thing that I would do. I would also get rid of all legislation addressing the wage gap. I mean, in fact, Dusty, the list goes on and on and on of all the things that I would do. I would roll back the 19th Amendment, Dusty. I would roll back all of that.
I'd be happy to fill in the gaps with respect to research on the women's right to vote and Margaret Sanger. I've read Rachel's book. It's a great book. Everybody please buy it. Occult Feminism by Rachel Wilson.
Yeah, but hang on a second. So Yeah, the 19th I'd roll back, not even specifically because it allows women to vote, but even though it was pushed by, yes, feminists in a big way and corporatists. But I'd roll it back so that we would have state issued voting and states could make the determinations to have things like poll taxes, religious requirements, all the good things that we used to have that would exclude dumb fucks from voting in my elections. So
I agree.
there's a zillion there's so many policies, Dusty, I don't even know where to end. Like, that should be plenty of a chunk right away. I would get rid of admission standards too in schools. So you have admission standards in schools, which allow for women to take out these massive federal loans, mostly in bullshit that they're never going to use in life.
Yes.
And then they're bogged down with huge amounts of debt to the state. And it becomes a disincentivizer for them to have children, Dusty, because they have to pay back all these fucking crazy student loans.
Yeah, and it's a disincentivizer for any future husbands. I have an ex-girlfriend who got $500,000 worth of student debt to become a physical therapist.
And my dad
to become a physical a physical therapist. And they're literally propagandized from the top down to do that, to take their childbearing years and move into colleges instead and do the college party life instead of looking at the family life in their 20s. So there's a zillion government policies that I would instantly remove that obviously have a clear impact. Like you just said, I'm not impacted by feminism. And then you give me an example of you having an ex-girlfriend who was so laden with college debt due to feminist propaganda that you didn't want to date her.
I wasn't going to marry her anyways.
He has multiple daughters, right? He might be able to actually provide some insight on.
The other thing is, I don't like the student loan situation. I can see that there's a feminist sales pitch to it, but I view that primarily as an economic incentive. The reason that
so you don't bear it any weight?
Huh?
Does it not bear any weight then legally?
Does what not bear any weight? Feminism?
The fact that
I think it does bear some weight, but I think the primary weight burden. Because can I finish? It goes to the debt structure. If you look at the national balance sheet, something like I don't know, a third of that of the long-term assets of the country is student loan debt. I think we needed something on the balance sheet to prop up the dollar.
Does the debt belong to the individual or the country?
It's an asset for the country. It's a liability for the individual.
Well,
exactly.
It's
the
not
liability of the individual.
well, hang on. You have a problem here in your reasoning, though, Dusty. Here, I'll point it out to you. When you say it's the pitch, right? That the pitch has a lot to do with it. What is the pitch? The pitch is that if you don't want to if you get married young, you're too immature. And so what'll happen is you're going to pick the wrong guy and you're going to end up divorced, and then you're not going to have a career to fall back on because you're not college educated. So you need to get college educated first, go through all of that, and then have a family later, which has decimated our birth rates.
I think it's worse than that. I think the pitch is worse than that. I think the pitch is that if you don't go to college and get a career, if you're not a career woman with your own income contributing to the tax base, you're a failure. So I think
that's part of it. Actually, yeah, that's part of it too. But the major portion of the propaganda, which is problematic, this feminist propaganda, is the fact that women have a biological clock and it runs out quick. Correct. And they're taking a large portion of that adult biological clock and they're running out that clock, which leads to decimation of birth rates. And then what does that lead to, Dusty? It leads to mass migration, and that does fucking affect you.
Correct.
Like, do you want a bunch of hijabis in your fucking country, Dusty?
Well, if we can't
fucking Mexicans back.
Well, if the domestic population can't reproduce itself, then how are you going to keep up with the 300 million people that are in the United States? You have to get them from somewhere. So you replace the domestic population with migrants. And that's exactly what we're doing because we can't keep our birth rates high enough. And that does affect you. That affects you so much, in fact, there's nothing that affects you more. The fact is that right now you have less bargaining power than you've ever had for the jobs that you want. And the reason you have less bargaining power is because If we were to take 15 people who are all applying for the job that you're applying for, and then we add 30 migrants who will even take a lesser wage, that hurts your negotiating power.
I just want to point out that I went to Grok, so take it with a grain of salt about the turf thing. It's about 80%, or the ones that support all of the LGBT whatever. It's about 20% or less.
They're a minority who are TERFs. Yep, it's the minority of feminists who are TERFs. That's why they all hate J.K. Rowling. She's like the queen of the TERFs. And the feminists absolutely fucking hate her. They hate her guts.
As far as the labor market affecting me, I get what you're saying, but personally, I don't think it does. Like, I don't want a job. I'm not competing for a job. I'm perfectly happy doing YouTube.
Tell migrants take that away too.
How do they take that away?
I'm joking, Dusty.
Oh.
I'm doing they took our Jube meme. They took the Jube.
Yeah.
But what they do is they provide a labor input for products and goods and services that I consume, right? Before I did YouTube, I worked in concrete for several years. We made culverts and shit like that, right? People don't kind of consciously understand how much infrastructure is sitting under the ground just for sewers and shit like that, right? All that is made with immigrant labor, a lot of it. If it weren't for that, just use an example, right? We'd have way higher water bills for the same product because we've got way that much more cost sunk into infrastructure paying American wages.
Yeah, but you know what's better than that? If we can reproduce ourselves and don't need immigrant labor, and then you have a society which is at least somewhat homogenous, so you don't have all of the cultural rifts that you have between all of these mass migrant waves. So you can have a thriving domestic population. They all have jobs, and they're all taking care of the sewers, and they're all getting paid a much bigger wage because they don't have to compete against migrant workers who will work for less. That seems like a way wiser proposition.
I mean, that only works to get rid of our social safety nets. Americans have too much social safety nets. We don't want those.
Well, social safety nets have nothing to do with it. It has to do. It's like this. Once upon a time, if you had the Irish working on a railroad, right, and they went on strike and said, we're not going to work on this fucking railroad until, we don't die every day over here. The railroad tycoons would say, okay, well, you're all fired and we're going to have Chinamen come do it. And they'll do it for even less. And that's exactly actually what they did. They brought in Chinamen, had them build the railroad. It's true that the infrastructure got built, but it took away all the bargaining power from actual domestic Americans. And at the time, there wasn't a birth rate crisis. Those guys actually needed those jobs, right? And they were not able to negotiate their wages anymore. So if you want to have a thriving domestic population, you need the birth rate high, and you need immigrants coming in very low. If your entire labor market is dependent on immigrant labor, you already have a massive problem.
I agree that it's a massive problem, but I don't think I think that the social safety nets are, in fact, a key feature of
what
of
social safety nets.
Social safety nets. What are you talking about? Food stamps, Section 8, all the Obama phones, all the free shit.
Allow people to produce more children, Dusty. They just enable people to utilize
I wasn't talking about producing more children. I was talking about the labor market economics.
Okay,
right. The reason. Hold on. Let me finish.
He's making a legitimate point here. What he's saying is.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Go ahead, bro.
The reason that that we're not as competitive is because we don't have to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could get on food stamps. I could get Section 8. Hell, we got kids. I could probably live for free doing nothing at all until the kids are all 18, and at least in Kansas, right? I'm sure that's the same for Andrew.
Well, this is the
social safety nets that make it so we don't have to be competitive in the labor market.
Yeah, that's true. What you're talking about there is like the Walmart plan. So Walmart will pay you in your region just enough money so that you qualify for social services, food stamps, help with rent, things like that, right?
Yeah, energy assistance. There's all sorts of things.
But tell me, per capita, Dusty, which group is the most likely to be taking advantage of those social services?
Oh, I have no idea.
You wouldn't.
Immigrants?
It would be immigrants, Dusty.
I'll give you a hint. It's an immigrant. Yeah, the
When you
NIH
say,
studies
when you say
support
taking
that.
advantage, do you mean fraudulently or you mean using them?
Well, I'm saying that Walmart, if Walmart's going to do a bunch of hiring, they're going to want to hire you at the lowest wage, right? You agree with that?
Yep.
Okay, so if you have a bunch of migrants who just got here, right? Maybe they applied for asylum or something like this, or told they have to get jobs. They go to Walmart, they lower the bargaining power of the domestic population. Walmart hires them in, and then Walmart says, don't worry, you're going to get a subsidy from the actual state for all the food stamps and this and that and blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
So now you've exacerbated the problem with your own solution. You've exacerbated the problem. Now you have migrants who are coming in and they're getting state services.
I think I think that I would put the primary burden of that, or the blame for that, on Walmart, because Walmart is the one who, against, what would appear to be against their self-interest, they're the ones, these big employers are the ones pushing for higher minimum wages, right?
Well, yes, but that's because of they want to get rid of competition.
So
wait, before that, when it comes to immigration and the idea of them getting the most amount of welfare,
I don't have that study, Emmett.
Well, it is true. The way that they do it is not directly through them, but it's through the kids. This is why we have the case in the Supreme Court when it comes to birthright citizenship. Because what they do, they were using anchor babies, and they were getting all of the food stamps and all of the the different kind of benefits through the kids.
So Emmett, my study doesn't even focus on that. It actually completely regulates what you've just said, and effectively it says that men are of greater need, and the conclusions are that men need greater access to the immigrant hotline, and the immigrant hotline is corrupt. It's through NIH.
Anyway, I gotta. It's late for me. I gotta get going, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Oh, me too.
Good talk.
I just realized it's 4 a.m. Ciao.
All right. I'm out too. Fuck you, Emmett.
Thank you.
Oh.
Okay, bye. What
an asshole. He doesn't even did do a good Toodles.
I was waiting around because I heard your I'm waiting for you, ma'am.
Why can't you do a nice Toodles? Thank you.
All right.
Toodles.
Goodbye, Emmett. Goodbye, AVG. I hope y'all have an excellent night. Thank you for having me up. It has been a pleasure. Salute to your chat, and Toodles.
Toodles. Thank you. See, Emmett?
Yeah. That was incredible. That was actually very interesting. Thank you very much to Andrew for jumping on my channel. Thank you to Dusty for jumping as well. It was a very interesting little debate that we were having.
Right, and what about the litigation professional, which streamlined the show and offered some incredible insights?
It was an incredible insight, Daria. As always, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Please follow me at ABG Female Debater. The A, B, and G are fully capitalized, but the rest is just whatever you want it to be.
It doesn't matter.
And also follow Emmett if you're here from me. Please follow Emmett. I did share this with my Discord, so.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you to both of you. I think it was a very interesting.